Hello, everybody, and welcome to the fourth round of the Week 5 PSS4. I'm Michael Hoyp. I'm joined in the booth by none other than Ryan Grodzinski. How's it going, Grodfather?
It's going fantastic. It's such a good night of Magic.
Yeah, that was pretty excellent. So let's look forward to what we have upcoming. We have Ryan Manolakos up against Aaron Dix. And I know Mano is really looking to win this match because Aaron's in a very good position. He is so far undefeated, and Mano he's in the hunt. He is looking to try and get that fourth or better spot to move on to the elimination rounds. And he's really looking to beat Aaron to do that. So Mano feels like he's got a lot riding on this match. Let's look at the decks that the players have available to them. I just spoiled what Aaron's playing, but okay. So Mano has the Esper Stifle Knot, and then he has Sly has been banned, and then the Black Red Muse deck, which is kind of his baby, kind of what he's introduced to the world of pre-modern, and he likes to play. Aaron has an aggressive lineup in terms of zombies, Sly, and Fluctuator. His Sly deck has been banned, so the red mono red Sly decks have been banned from both players. Do you want to make a prediction on what the players would bring, or do you just want to jump over to the decks?
I'm very leery to make a prediction because it seems like everybody that ever sits in this seat has yet to get a prediction wrong. I don't think all season. If it were me, I think it's going to be Espernaut versus Fluctuator. I'm very disappointed that both players banned Sly. I would have loved to see more Sly, but I think that's probably where we're at this time, if I were to guess.
Okay, so let's see if your prediction can come true. And I will move over. Aaron is playing the zombies deck. So, 0 for 1, Ryan. It's all right.
See, that's
Uh,
just it. I shouldn't have ever guessed.
so, the aggressive tribal mono black deck looks to put a number of zombies in play. It has some synergies in terms of Shepherd of Rot, which makes players lose life equal to the zombies in play. Lord of the Undead is an anthem for all the zombies. And then Gem Palm Polluter makes a player lose life equal to the number of zombies. So those are pretty much the synergies, and then there's some hand disruption and some anthem effects like blood or bad moon. But
Yeah.
other than that, there's a little bit of disruption, hand disruption, and then a wasteland. And so, but the idea is put creatures into play and attack. That's pretty
No,
much what
and
it comes down
there's
to.
there's you gotta mention the 61st card flex where you
Yes,
just throw all consistency aside. You're like, this is what I'm doing. I don't need the consistency. I'm Aaron Diggs.
I think this
So
is a good guy Aaron story that I think he accidentally submitted 61,
he did.
and
Yeah.
then he like felt guilty about revising it. Like I think he was still at a point where he probably could have like switched it to 60.
Hmm.
Maybe it was at a point where the list went public to the players and he didn't want to
Yeah,
change
I
it.
had
I
I pointed it out to him when I was making the lists, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't mean to do that." So,
Yes,
I
so
mean,
he just
we had
accepted.
seen the list at that point.
Yeah,
So,
he accepted his mistake and he said, "I'll just leave it what I submitted." So. Um, Aaron will be up against the Black Red Muse deck, so
I couldn't have been more wrong.
it's okay. I'm
Yeah.
really looking forward to how this will play out because
Yeah,
I think
that's
it'll be
actually a
really
really good
interesting.
matchup.
Like the Black Red Muse is kind of this like it's a mid range deck. I mean, I think most of the time it is kind of trying to apply the more pressure, but here I think it might play a more controlling role.
Yeah,
Um,
and zombies are incentivized to play out and go wide, and I think that kind of with the extra spot removal and stuff like that with the Muse deck, that maybe that's something that can play into them a little bit.
Yeah, like Grim Lavamancer could really be a star in this matchup. Like
Hmm.
if it stays in play, which Aaron does not have too many ways to remove a creature, could really do a lot of work. So Brian's going to look to, in theory, most of the time his deck is kind of like a discard deck, and then like deals damage with Lavaborn Muse. His role might be a little bit different because he's playing against such an aggressive deck that he might have to worry about not dying as compared to like getting rid of cards in the opponent's hand. But if Aaron's playing aggressively, he probably won't have too many cards. So
Yeah.
that might fit into what he's trying to do. So
Yeah, it's actually a really interesting turn of events too, with Grim Lavamancer, Aaron not having that to play with this time because I if Grim Lavamancer was to ever win an invitational, I think he would actually design Aaron Dix. So, but here he is playing on Team Mano. So,
All right, let's jump down to the match. If you want to let our players know, they can begin.
yeah, absolutely.
All right. I don't know who we have decided to be on the play from our die roll, and it looks like Mano's still shuffling, so I don't know if that means that he's been mulliganing a bunch, but
I hope he knows he's not playing against Stasis, because he might have taken my strat of the
yeah.
mill to 4.
That is one thing that I always forget about is like when I'm doing commentary is I know what the players are playing and I always assume that they have that assumption and that's not true. Like you know what deck you're not playing against, but there still is a lot of variables that could happen in terms of mulliganing and strategies when you could be facing against two like potentially like very different decks.
Mm-hmm.
All right, looks like Mano has settled on. Is it? Are we at 4 cards? If he's okay, he's debating the 2, so I think he's at 5. Is
Where's
if
he
you
on 2?
yeah, keep the cards you want. If you were in either seat, like assuming that they have 7 cards, which player would you want to be? The zombies or the Black Red Muse?
Uh, I think I would want to be the zombies, but that's a heck of a start. Turn 1 Dark Ritual into Hypnotic Spectre. It doesn't get any more classic than that.
Yeah, and we said before that like Aaron doesn't do a very good job of getting rid of creatures, at least from his main deck.
No,
So
yeah. He's looking to go wide and race, so that's going to make it a little bit more difficult for him.
Sarcomancy, that's the turn 1 play that Aaron has, and so now Mano knows. Like I was gonna say, he didn't know exactly what he was playing against. He might thought he was up against Fluctuator. Now he knows the jig is up. Both players
Yep.
know what they're playing. So
They're
Sarcomancy.
both fully aware.
All right, the Hypnotic Spectre will come over. That will mean that a random card gets discarded for Aaron's hand.
Yeah, you don't see that much anymore in the game. Random discard. Could be very well be this is your only other land, and you don't get to play Magic this game. So
Shepherd of Rot is the card that's discarded, which a lot of times we've seen that card in play, and it's been like a pretty big deal because like Aaron is almost always the sole aggressor. Like his lineup is very aggressive, and the decks that I guess in general most people have kind of mid-rangey to control strategies, and this is actually a matchup where Shepherd Rot could be raced. Like that, Bryan has enough creatures and burn spells that Shepherd Rot actually could be a liability.
yeah, I mean, there's Aaron's still in control of activation on it, and I think that's part of what makes it so great as well. But you might see, some rats come down here now, or oh, he's just gonna rip his hand apart some more.
Yeah, and there are a lot of sequences where you can like pass the turn with it untapped, and then like end of your opponent's turn, you tap the Shepherd of Rot, you untap, you tap it again, and then you like cycle the Gem Home Polluter. Where you, like from the one position, it looks like you're losing the race, but like a Gem Home Polluter for 3 could just really turn the tides, and so really interesting how this card could be utilized. All right, we see a Cabal Therapy. I'm not sure if Mano had noted what he had named, but I didn't see a card get discarded on the. Oh, so it was a second Cabal Therapy? Is that what was cast and that got rid of 2 Carnophage? Okay. So the rest of Aaron's hand is a Shepherd of Rot, a Cabal Therapy, and then a Wasteland that he just deployed. His 2/2 will get in, and then the Shepherd will come down.
So that's an interesting, like, so he chose to run out Sarcomancy on turn 1 instead of one of the Carnophages against a Cabal Therapy deck. Saves you the point of damage.
I think.
This turn he could have ran out another 2/2 and Wastelanded. And
Okay,
probably...
I get on the first part. I can see that the sequence is like, I don't think anyone in the dark like is going to name like Carnophage. Like if you're afraid of Fluctuator and like even that like if you're afraid of the zombies deck, like so like if maybe if the Wasteland might change it, but I mean like in terms of like if you're just thinking that you're going to go Sarcomancy into double Carnophage, then that might save you like a point of life. I could see that. So if Mano is kind of pausing here, does that mean he's debating whether he wants to keep this Hypnotic Spectre on defense? I don't know
I'm
if.
very interested in what he has in his hand.
Yeah.
If that's the
So the two cards in his hand are Cabal Therapy and is one of them unknown?
one of them is unknown.
Okay.
I'm more interested in what's in Mano's hand at this point.
Yeah.
If he was making pause to not run in with a hippie to keep a Shepherd or Rot from attacking.
I mean, maybe he's just like possibly willing to trade with the token, but I don't know. The Hypnotic Spectre seems like one of his better threats.
Yeah, I was gonna say that definitely feels like a losing proposition.
So one thing that's a little unsettling is Mano passed a turn without playing another land, and he is up against a wasteland. So Aaron has the option to really disrupt the mana. And is Aaron passing the turn? I think I would use that wasteland there, wouldn't you?
All day, every day.
Yeah.
Get him off the red, pinches.
Okay, so
Before we exit the draw step, maybe?
okay.
Got him.
Give him a little bit of hope, and
Yeah,
then just
exactly. Not today.
all right. So looks like we have a defensive Hypnotic Spectre. It's no longer attacking. And then the Shepherd of Rot was used at end of turn, and that will do 3 life to each player.
After that first two turns from Mano, I would have never. I didn't see this going this way.
So I'm interested that Aaron attacked with just the token and not the Withered Wretch. Is there that much value in the ability of Withered Wretch that you're not willing to trade?
Well, he does still have the Cabal therapies in the yard.
Okay, but I mean, like,
But I don't. I
Mano
still
has,
think you run it in.
yeah. But yeah, things look pretty good for Aaron here. That like, unless Mano has a bolt for a Shepherd of Rot, and even then he would have to trade his 2/2 with another 2/2. This looks pretty tricky. Oh, I gotta
Yeah, he's
reduce.
still thinking about it this turn too. Like,
I gotta reduce Aaron's life. I guess the Shepherd of Rot does do some work against him. Aaron could be a little bit concerned about like the life total getting too low and then like losing to a red source and bolt. But
he's
things
taking
look
a peek at the graveyard now. He's like, "What are we working with here?"
okay. The end of, are we at end of turn? Just exile the Cabal therapies. Yep. So we are attacking with. So did he pay life? I think he needs to pay an additional life for that Chronophage.
Yeah, during the upkeep.
Um,
Are you shooting him a message?
all right. It looks like it didn't come into play, so uh, looks like the zombies deck has taken down game 1. I mean, so that was a good start for Mano. I guess the thing that he lacked was any of the controlling elements. There weren't any bolts or Grim Lavamancers to kind of disrupt the creature plan from Aaron. So I think that's kind of what made the difference. I think in that match or in that game. All right, let's move over to our sideboards and figure out what our players have to change the dynamic of this game. Looking at the Black-Red Muse deck, so Tormod's Crypt, Cremate, Dystopia, Pyroblast don't seem very appealing. So Engineered Plague, Aaron is a tribal deck, but almost all of his creatures are 2/2s. So like on its own, it doesn't like kill like any creatures other than the Shepherd of Rot. But I can see bringing it in just to like reduce the clock of the zombies and like make
Fight
it
the
so that
Blood Moon.
yeah, okay, that too. Like it is a clunky card, but like
yeah, it's such
and
a weird card in this matchup.
it's not like great, but like I can see it coming in because other than that, it's
I do like the Terminate.
yeah.
I like the spot removal in these type of matchups, but
Yeah, I would bring in the
not a lot to
Terminate.
bring in. I agree with you.
Are there cards that you think are really ineffective? Like Cabal Interrogator does not seem great.
That's not a lot of feels good, but I mean the rest of it kind of is doing some work. I'm not sure how great Duress is in this matchup either.
Okay.
Um,
What's the card under Crypt? Cremate.
yeah, that's
So
just
black instant,
yep,
remove a card from a graveyard, draw a card.
yeah.
Phyrexian Furnace is an inclusion that's in the main deck of Mano. That one could come out uh, for a card like Terminate or Engineered Plague. Uh, but yeah, so basically, it doesn't seem like Bryan's deck gets like much better. Uh, it actually it seems like kind of the same. Like it's a little bit different, but like I wouldn't even know necessarily say that it's that much better. Let's look at Aaron's list to see what changes for him. So Tormod's Crypt, Perish, Smother. I think Smother is probably a card I might be interested in. Engineered Plague doesn't seem that great. Are you ever interested in another copy of Bad Moon? Or discard spells good, and then Eradicate. I don't think Eradicate's worth it, but um, a Smother is a Smother a card that you're interested in.
Yeah, I think so he's running between Hypnotic Specters. I think the Interrogators probably end up staying in. He's got Rat, maybe not. I'm looking at the full list. I don't know if I'm really boarding all that much here. I
Yeah,
might shave. No, it just lines up. I think most of it lines up pretty well to begin with.
and so you
Maybe in
could
one or two smother, but that's yeah.
like I might
I'm
take
having
out
a
some
hard
of the
time looking at it too. I got the display over on the
yeah
side, so
some of the discard spells maybe could go be creature removals. I could see that maybe
yeah.
being what you want to do, but yeah,
Get him
uh,
off that turn one hippie if he lands out again. But
yeah. All right, we'll jump down back to the match. All right, let's just make sure our players know that they can begin.
I'll let him know right now.
All right. It looks like Aaron is going back for a mulligan. So I do have
You
a
know,
story.
that's not that big of a deal. I mean, I Aaron once won a game of Connect Four in 3 moves, so
Yeah, I do have a story. So I was talking to some people like that I was playing volleyball with, and the topic of my show had come up, and I showed them the intro to the Premodern Showdown series, and she had noted. She said, "Is that Aaron Dix?" And I said, "Yes." Why? Do you know? And she apparently so she used to live in California, and she was saying that they used to date, and so she was like talking about
this guy.
all these good things about Aaron, talking about how she really liked him and whatnot, and oh, he's such a nice guy. So things that we already know, and I had kind of like asked her like because she just seemed like so positive about it. I'm like so like kind of like what happened, like what why did your relationship end? And she's like, well, she's like, yeah, she kind of reiterated like, Aaron was just so nice, but like I met his family, and they're just a bunch of dicks. Okay, I made that story up. That was just, but
Wow.
I was very excited to sell that. So, all right, Mano's gonna kick things off with a Cabal Therapy. Seeing a hand of Gem Palm Polluter, Shepherd of Rot, Withered Wretch, Bad Moon, and two
Watch
Swamps.
this. He rips the one drop 100%. No, I guess not. All right.
Yep. So I'm not sure if Mano's gonna let us know. We'll have to ask him afterwards. Would you just name Dark Ritual? Probably that's the card I would name in the dark. Ravenous Rats comes down.
Now
So
Aaron gets to choose.
Gem Palm Polluter is the one that he says, I don't need this one. Alright, well so looks like a 2/2 on turn
He's
2
taking
is Oh, okay. He's gonna get rid of the bad moon. That makes sense. I mean, I guess like now his creatures are just a little bit less formidable, and
I would put him on the engineered plague at this point, probably.
he could just be like maybe he has like mana and could get to like a lava-born muse, and then like a 3/3 lines up pretty well against a 2/2. Oh, we do have an engineer like, all right, you're right.
I'm channeling my inner Mike Flores, calling the shots here. But I think Aaron probably smelled that a little bit too, and led off with the creature that wasn't gonna immediately die to it. So
Yeah, that locking the shepherd of rots in his hand, uh, keeping the pressure just from a 2/2 is like much like the game might get to the point where it's like the mid to long game where I think Manos deck is more suited. I guess I mean Aaron's deck does a pretty good job like with like the Lord of the Undead and Gem-Home Polluter to win a long game, but
hmm
I think in general I think Mano is probably in the position that he wants.
ooh,
We say a
those look
hand.
like good cards,
Yeah, there's a Bloodstained Mire,
and
a
he's got the
Lightning
second
Bolt,
red source too.
and a Grim Lavamancer.
I'm guessing he didn't name any of those. What do you think he named in that situation?
Um, I don't know.
Maybe Lavaborn?
I would say that that was
One
a
up
card
on
that like I
4?
like
Yeah,
maybe
bigger threat.
looks like the Withered Wretch was flashbacked to nab the Grim Lavamancer, and then it's replaced with a new one. So Engineered Plague, Chad has said. So Ryan, when you were playing, someone had followed the channel and their username is Mo Grodzinski. Is that someone that you know, or do you
That's
just
got
have
to be
a
the moms.
do you just have a fan club?
That's
That,
that's that's Maureen Grodzinski.
that's
That's
pretty
my mom.
awesome.
Hi, mom.
She gave you just enough luck
I have
that you could.
quite the fan following, let
I
me
was,
tell you.
I mean, people were pretty impressed about like how that game finished. So people were definitely excited for you to win that game. So Lavaborn
I
Muse
did good,
has come
mom.
down. Yep. She's even prouder of you now, Ryan.
Wow.
All right, so the Lavaborn Muse. This is the only deck in pre-modern that I've seen ever use this card. It is basically the rack on
It's a
a
beat
hill
stick.
giant. Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess the difference is like it doesn't the number of cards doesn't matter. It's just a threshold, and it always does three.
hmm
But it's pretty much the same.
It's going to put some work in this game for sure.
Yeah, it's gonna deal a good amount of damage. I mean, it can attack for three. It could block creatures, and if Aaron has too few cards in hand, it's really gonna deal a lot of damage quick. Man, my voice.
I get that way around Aaron as well. So, I
Yeah.
mean, I wouldn't just get so nervous.
Yeah.
Did you know that Superman owns a pair of Aaron Dick's undies?
are you reading the chat?
That's a no, I can't see the chat. What's
Okay.
going on?
Your mom says hi, Ryan.
Hi, mom. It's getting so weird talking about
It's a,
Superman's underwear. My
yeah.
mom's in the channel.
Yeah. All right, the Lava Muse is getting in there,
Yep.
and yeah, Aaron just takes it.
I
Yeah.
don't I don't see how he needs to get it Blood Moon or Bad Moon and so much to go from here.
Yeah, it's especially having like the two Shepherd Rots in his hand. Like if those were
Yeah.
cards that he could play to the board, I mean, I guess that might make it a little bit awkward because of the Muse, but uh, he just has no board presence, no clock, and obviously that's what his deck is designed to do is be aggressive. Oh, I guess
No,
we didn't talk about. I mean, like this is basically a bad mood, but in creature form that can be bolted. So, uh,
to start, get the bolt out of the hand. You got to
yep,
start somewhere.
yeah. So mana just takes one from the Withered Wretch. All right, the Muse just gets in there for 3 more. Aaron's staying just at the spot where he's not taking extra damage from the Muse, but
It's the one thing he's got going for him right now.
yeah.
You just you hang on to that with dear life in this moment.
I mean, it does buy him a lot more time. Like if he's taking
Yeah,
like 3 extra damage every turn, it is a lot quicker clock. And Carnifage a little bit awkward because pay 1 life to deal 1 damage. Not always the best.
yeah.
We do see
We
Duress.
knew, yeah, we almost had to know that was a land at this point. It hadn't
Yeah,
moved anywhere. Like,
you take the risk though, because like if you're able to, basically, if that Duress hits, then it turns into a bolt or a
mm-hmm.
lava spike because it turns on the lava burn muse for at least a turn. It looks like the Carnifage got in the way of the lava born muse. All right, Aaron is just attacking for 1, and then Mano is just sending it back for 3. So as he builds up cards in hand, like things look really good. End of turn. Oh, okay. What would the tapping of the mana be?
He's exiling cards in his graveyard with
Oh,
the
okay,
wretch.
okay,
Yeah,
okay. That makes sense. I thought he was pumping on some card he might be casting, but
it's a pump fake.
yeah. All right.
I don't know if it gets any more exciting than this. It's very.
As I say, this
Oh,
lava
oh,
born muse
there we go. All
has
right, here we go. We're gonna force some action here.
I would say
Discard a swamp. Oh,
I would say I would say those Shepherd's Rots don't seem great, but
I don't know.
I guess the cards that you need to draw are like Bad
Yeah, they
Moon and
turn
Lord.
them
So
back
like
on.
yeah, so one thing that we haven't really talked about, like the Shepherd of Rot has the potential of drawing the game, where we could go to a game 4 potentially. So is there any other card you think in pre-modern that has drawn more games other than Shepherd of Rot? Like Earthquake would be another one, but or Flame
Earthquake
Rift maybe.
really doesn't get played that much. Flame Rift, I don't see a lot of. Um,
I'm trying to think of other cards that would potentially draw the game. Divine Intervention. I don't know. Isn't that a Legends card anyways, or is that in Chronicles?
I don't think that one was printed. I think it was straight legends on that
Yeah,
one. That's like 6 white or something, like triple white, 3 other or something.
it's 6 white white. I think it
Yeah,
basically if it stays in play long enough, then it's just a draw.
they don't make cards like they used to. I think I played that and Scheherazade in a deck at one point when I was a kid, because I'm that guy.
All right, so Mano has a Cabal Therapy that's able to nab 2 of the Shepherd Rots, so that will put him under the threshold for the Lavaborn Muse.
Yeah, that should probably be enough to get across the finish line this game, I would think.
Yep,
Yep.
it looks like Mano has equalized, so we're going to a game 3. Do you think this game was more representative of like how this matchup will play out, or do you think?
Yeah, I think, well, I don't know in general if it's, so the first game was kind of like, obviously Mano um mulligan that game. He mulliganed to 5. He was on the play. He got the first turn hippie and then ran out of resources really quick. And as a result, Aaron was able to recover and take back control of that game. I think that I think there is going to be more play back and forth between probably for game three. Optimally, if we do have 7 cards apiece, um, that's I think each of these games have kind of been fairly one-sided in their own
Mhm.
way. The mulligans really hurt, but
Yeah, that engineer plague made a big difference in that game. Like,
oh yeah, big time. It made up a lot.
yeah, I had kind of questioned its effectiveness, but especially having like preventing the Shepherd of Ruts from even coming down was very good. But just in general, like making the Withered Wretch into a 1/1, I think was pretty impactful as well. Mike Arnold says there's a Nemesis card with fading that's like Divine Intervention. I do not know that card. Huh.
Nemesis card with fading.
Celestial Convergence.
I don't remember that one at all. There's been some really interesting enchantments over time. I remember doing stuff with like, what was it? Pursuit of Knowledge was one.
I've looked at that one. That one seems like, I mean, it doesn't seem great, but it seems playable in some senses. All
Yeah,
right.
with like what it used to do with Sylvan Library or
Yep.
something, I think. Yep.
Yeah. So Celestial Convergence, 2 white enchantment, comes to play with 7 omen counters. At the beginning of upkeep, you remove one. If there are no omen counters on it, player with the highest life total wins the game. And if they're tied, then it's a draw.
Dude, I'm totally putting that in my Enchantress deck. It's going right in.
I mean, it's just another threat to beat the Stasis deck, right?
Yep. Then you got to keep, 6, 7 counter spells for that
Yeah.
turn. I guess I don't know.
All right, players are shuffling up. I don't think either player is mulligan, right? We're just still on the normal natural draw.
I believe so. Yeah.
Oh, yes, it is a prophecy card.
That's one of the great things about pre-modern as well, is we're always in the midst of spoiler season. There's there's so many fringe cards that just forgot about because we're all getting older now. It's like, oh yeah, that thing. I've never seen that before, but you have. You probably got like 10 of them in your collection.
The one thing
All
that
right,
I was
oh man, this is gonna get rowdy real quick.
okay. We've got 5 mana in the pool. One's used for a duress. Mana reveals a hand of duress, tainted peak. I think it's a mountain. Grim Lavamancer,
Oh, this is
Bloodstained
gonna
Mire,
be like
Phyrexian Arena, and an Engineer Plague,
rip
which
your
gets
hand
taken.
apart, play out 2 creatures. Yeah, 2 creatures.
The Lavamancer gets Cabal Therapied. Okay.
Yep. And then here come 2 creatures.
Withered Wretch and a 2/2, or is it just go?
Okay.
Well, that hand was certainly. So, would you use an
The second
extra?
Dark Ritual?
Yeah.
I don't know. I
I
mean, if
guess.
it's. Yeah, you probably do there. I mean, what do you.
I mean, if you have like a 3 drop in your hand, then obviously you wouldn't. But,
Yeah.
uh, but yeah. So, Mano Duress, I didn't see what the hand was, but I'm assuming it was.
It was Swamp.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Mano untaps, plays Rack, and has the same clock on board? Is that what's about to happen?
Yeah, that'd be interesting. And like here, like just a 2/2 in play, Phyrexian Arena actually could just come down and Mana could look to try and play the long game.
Yep.
Oh, this is the wreck. I thought that was a mountain. Okay. Um,
No, that's a Rack.
all right.
What does he have? What would he be thinking about this?
Aaron could be thinking
Maybe.
about whether he wants to sacrifice the Withered Wretch to Cabal Therapy to get rid of the Phyrexian Arena. I
No, it's
think.
still Mano's
Oh,
turn,
it's still
isn't it?
Mano's turn? Oh, okay.
Yeah. You think he has another Cabal therapy? And he's just wondering.
Uh, yeah, I don't know.
Hmm.
Or a creature that he maybe like wanted to use the Cabal therapy at that spot. Yeah, I don't know. Oh no, he didn't have a Cabal therapy. He just had duress. Okay, I was thinking he had one in the yard.
All right, now we're gonna start getting a little bit more of a clock going.
Sarcomancy is a good draw.
Hmm. And we have no fear. We're doing it.
Yeah, I mean the arena, I
You
don't
have
like it
to.
as much as I did last turn when there was only a
Yeah.
2 of 2 in play, but I don't imagine it's going to get any better anytime soon unless you get really lucky. So I could see this arena paying off as long as he's able to remove a creature quickly. All right, Mano down to 10. Hmm. Here's a duress. Aaron is pausing. Okay, there's a smother that's
Okay.
gone. Okay,
Yeah.
and now we
What is
have
that? It's a hippie?
Hypnotic
Yep.
Spectre. Does have to take a damage to cast it. And I think I would just trade off this.
Yeah. I think he kind of has to at that point.
Yep, looks like he does.
Just go
Blocks the Wither Wretch.
with the
Okay,
wretch. Yep.
takes 2 from the token. Goes down to 7. Oh, Aaron's at 14 because of the rack. But yeah, if Aaron doesn't
Actually
have a
goes
creature
down to
here,
6 with the arena.
if Aaron doesn't have a creature here, then things might not be that bad for Mano. I guess I mean he's got to win the game quickly, especially if he doesn't remove this token right away. But if he does remove the token, like Aaron would take an extra damage because the Sarcomancy is in play, and there's still the rack that would be dealing damage.
And there's that 61st swamp again, paying dividends for Aaron. All right, you got the token off the board.
All right.
Now Sarcomancy starts dealing him damage.
So he takes 2, one from the rack, one from the
And of
Sarcomancy.
course he has a
Shepherd,
overdrawn
though that's
creatures.
probably the worst one from Aaron's perspective because it also would deal him some damage. I guess it could just attack for 1.
Yeah, I think any creature at that point is just
Like if Mano had a
got to get off.
Lava-Born Muse, that'd probably be the most ideal thing. Yeah, he only takes 1 because there is a zombie in play.
It's a zombie.
Yeah. And the Shepherd of Rot will send down to 4.
Oh, come on, Aaron. Let's keep this game close. Just activate it. Don't attack.
So Mano is on a short leash because of his own Phyrexian Arena and the
Hmm.
pressure from Aaron. He's tapping 3 mana. Is this Engineer Plague? It is.
Wow. All right,
Alright.
we're gonna have one of those games where he's got 3 draw steps.
Because there
Does
is
he
no
want
way
to
for him to remove the arena or gain life. Is that correct?
black, red? What? I mean,
Yeah.
he's got to put out a very fast clock very fast
Are Ravenous Rats?
to
Well,
raise
that
his own.
Ravenous Rats actually is pretty good here because it not only is
No,
a
yeah, it
little bit
makes him a
body, but
discard
like,
card.
yeah, it
Yep.
works very well with the rack. I mean, I think Mano might be able to win this. I mean, it's very close. All right. Aaron has a Wither Wretch, so it is a 1/1, thanks to Engineered Plague. Mano's going to go to 2.
Aaron's very fast on that. Take your arena damage.
He's probably used to just from
So
muscle memory
if
of making
you
people take 2 damage from
Oh no,
Sulfur
he does.
Vortex.
I was looking at his land base. I was like, is it all sulfurous springs? Like, is he gonna have to pay life in order to for red? But he does have one tainted peak.
Yeah.
It looks like so. He has one source of red that doesn't deal him damage. I wonder if that's gonna come into play here.
Well, he has taken, I think, 2 damage from the Sulfuric Springs over the course of this game.
Yep.
What card do you want to see the most? It's Lavaborn Muse.
Lavaborn Muse is going to 3. He's still going to need some sort of.
Because Lavaborn Muse both
Creature
puts like
removal.
damage and a blocker in play. Like most of the other cards
Correct.
that like he has, like
He's got
Hypnotic
the-
Spectre, I guess, might also be okay. Cabal Therapy. Like if he gets lucky and hits this, then like that could really change the game in terms of like how much damage that the rack would deal. What would you name here? Gem Palm Polluters?
2 mana. We know about a swamp. Yeah, Gem Palms would be a pretty sick. What do you have? No, we haven't had untapped mana. Gem Palm might be the right call because everything else is gonna. Nothing else has haste or really gonna put that much more. You can keep. It might be the right call actually.
Yeah, it's just a swamp.
Actually, I don't know what I was thinking. Obviously, swamp was the right call.
That'd be pretty tight. You could just
Set
take out the swamps.
tech 61st. He's always got it.
Thank you for the follow, Rat Funk Zero. All right, Aaron goes down to 8. Aaron doesn't attack. I guess his Sarcomancy would potentially deal
No,
more
he's
damage.
he's on don't die mode right now.
Yeah.
Like.
So Mano. Oh, Mano. Okay, Phyrexian
Okay, all right.
first.
Reverse cyclone. Those really aren't being used for anything else right now. Can't tap it for black. Can't tap it for red.
It's got to be multiple. Even if he had multiple bolts, an attack from Ravenous Rats, he doesn't take any damage from the rat or the rack.
Yeah.
So Mano falls a little bit short. I think like if he hadn't taken 2 extra damage from his Sulfur Springs earlier in the game, then I think he might have been able to squeak out that match. But yeah, just falls a little bit short, and Aaron takes down the match.
Yeah. It's Aaron
Right.
Dixie. What he does, man. I actually heard a rumor that Aaron Dix doesn't even shower. He just takes blood baths.
Yeah.
Yeah. What happened? What do you guys
I
think?
guess we should unmute them, huh?
Oh.
Are we unmuted?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just unmuted. That last game was really interesting. I mean, it really came down. I think if you didn't have to take a couple damage from your Sulfur Springs earlier in the game, that you might have been able to pull it out. But
just drew a lot of lands. Like I drew a lot of lands, and I drew the worst like duresses and lands. You know, if like
Yeah.
1 or 2 of those cards is something else, I can probably turn that corner.
Well, and I mean, like it was really interesting because like if those duresses hit, then the game gets very different because if you're able to take another card out of his hand, then the rack does a lot more damage.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's pretty unlikely that duress is hitting because there's just not that many spells or non-creature spells in his deck. But
yeah, I mean, I even took one out. Like I knew it's not great. I don't want to flood on duresses, but I think they are pretty important against Smother and Bad Moon, so I don't mind drawing 1. They're also good against his removal, against his discard for my Engineered Plague. So I kept in 6 total discard spells. This is what I cut for 3 plagues and a terminate, obviously.
Okay. Yeah, your sideboard like isn't like super exciting in this matchup, and like we weren't sure.
4 Engineered Plagues.
Well, okay, so like it's that's one of the cards where it just like it doesn't kill that many creatures. I mean, obviously it slows him down a lot, but like it only kills Shepherd of Rot, but it was very effective in the game it came down. And I'm not saying you shouldn't bring it in, but it's like it's not as lights out as it is against some other decks.
Yeah, that's fair. It's possible I overrate it. I mean, it's obviously amazing, and I'm going to play as many as I can get my hands on.
Yeah,
but it's possible I overrate it.
Yeah.
But I have to play the Bad Moons to get through it, but you benefit from that too.
Yeah, I know. I thought it'd be funny if I ended up attacking you with some black creatures.
I did not think of that. I didn't think that effect is symmetrical. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's really for you, the rats, the fiends, and the specters.
Right, or the interrogators. Yeah.
Also, like I kept looking at my Engineered Plagues. Your creature base is so freaking varied. It's horrors.
Yeah, it's very diverse.
Like there's nothing that I can name that gets more than 1 creature. It's brutal because they're all like 1/1s. I'm like, this is going to be great. oh no, it's totally shit.
Right, and I don't even have 4 of any of them. I have like 2 or 3 of like everything. So it's just the card does basically nothing against me.
Right.
I thought you'd bring in Smothers, at
Yeah.
least some number of Smothers.
3.
God, Robin Answer's so good.
So, Mano, game 1 you had mulliganed a few times. Was that just bad draws, or were you a little bit afraid of Fluctuator?
No, I didn't think in a million years he would play Fluctuator.
Okay.
He can't. He's probably 4% against my Espernaut deck,
Yeah.
and even against this deck, he's probably only 15% with 8 discard spells. So
The thing that I absolutely can't win against with Fluctuator is disruption paired with a good clock. Like
right, so you literally cannot, like, Espernaut has to
his
be
decks are the worst
95,
for it.
5. And it's all the best disruption, right? 8 discard spells and mage.
Yeah.
And this deck doesn't have quite the same clock or quite the same disruption, but it's still a great matchup that I would love to play. So I was pretty certain you were going to be on zombies.
I thought, yeah, this matchup favored you. I thought for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I also think Espernaut favored me, so I wasn't sure what to pick. I talked to Robin. I was originally all set on this. I thought it was a better matchup than Espernaut. I talked to Robin Lund a bit. He seemed to like Dreadnought more than I did. I know Dreadnought's. I still would have been favored in this matchup, I think, with Dreadnought, even with your Smothers, because I have so much discard.
Yeah.
But I like this. I had the 4 plagues. I think like it went exactly according to plan. Even that game 1 where I double mulligans, like I was very close to turning the corner there. And that game at the end there,
honestly,
like
it came down to like the blind Cabal therapy is missing every time.
Yeah. And then like if I name Shepherd of Rot, which I would never name because you already played one, but if I happen to name that, I might win that game versus Wither.
I'm telling you, I'm surviving off of dumb luck so far, and it held again with the blind Cabal therapies.
Dude, those swamps were doing some work that last game.
Oh my god. Just holding swamps for days.
Yeah.
My kingdom, just draw a goddamn dark ritual. Draw
something you can duress.
Something you can discard.
Yeah.
Right, they were the best draws because most of your creatures were close to zeros or maybe 1/1s at best, but I can't get those swamps out of your hand. I sideboarded out my stupor.
Yeah, we were like racing my own Sarcomancy for your own arena. Just
you were just on Don't Die.
And it worked.
Yeah.
It was great games actually.
Yeah, that was magic.
Really fun.
That was magic as Garfield intended, as opposed to whatever the hell you did, Ryan. That was.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, I never would have thought that starting at whenever you guys started at 10:40 that we would be done by 11:30. But
I know.
I'll take it as a win.
This one was gonna go quick.
Oh no, 9:30. You guys started your match, Ryan, at 9:30, and we're 2 hours later. We're done with everything. So.
But solid.
Yeah.
I'll take all the credit for that.
Leave it to the aggro players to clean up the night.
Yeah.
Oh, so now you're 5-0, and everybody else is X-2. So now it's just a battle. It's a battle for second at this point.
I am able to bring up the standings. I guess I can do that
thought
real
you were
quick.
gonna destroy me, actually.
So did I. I really did too.
I looked like I said earlier.
Here's one interesting thing. I really thought never in a million years you would have banned Sly. Because Sly isn't the greatest. It's bad against your Sly, and it's bad against Fluctuator.
But I knew you were gonna ban my Sly.
Right.
And if you ban my Sly, then now I don't have to worry about,
You don't have to worry about Sly versus zombies, but like that's it's not great, but it's not terrible. And I think that's the whole point of Fluctuator, right? To beat Sly. Especially my Sly is terrible. I have like 2 overloads.
But fair enough.
So that's what I was thinking. And I was like, oh, and then now I
couldn't take you off of discard. I couldn't take you off of discard with beats.
Right. Yeah, you couldn't.
So because if you're just on discard, then I can play the long game with Fluctuator.
Yeah.
Like mono black pit rack, fine. I'll just cycle end of your turn. Everything you have as a sorcery, I'll be fine. I'll land it eventually, but not against a clock.
Both of those matchups, I really liked. I thought I was basically better than 60% no matter how this shook out.
I thought I was like 35 to 40% tops.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I was in both of these lists versus your zombies. And I was way higher than that in Fluctuator. That's why I thought you'd never play Fluctuator. So yeah, I think you basically won maybe not quite a 2-1, but like as a 1-2 dog ish, you pulled one out. 63-37 ish, pulled it out.
Yeah.
Which happens, obviously.
Yep. Surviving off of dumb luck for another week.
All right. Well,
yeah.
I'll say it's been serving you pretty well if dumb luck is all you needed, but I don't think I think you're being
the odds.
I think you're a little bit too humble, but yeah, you're in good shape, and hopefully that luck can continue but yeah, is there anything else you guys want to add? Otherwise, I think we're going to wrap things up.
No. My mulligans were not. I didn't think he had a fluctuator. I never thought he was on fluctuator, and they were not. My mulligan.
Well, when you mulled to 4, was it 4 or 5? You mulled to 5 in game 1. I'm like, oh, so he's playing Stifle Knot, so he's just putting together his good hand.
Yeah.
So I put you on Stifle Knot. Right
and
off.
I'm on Ritual Spectre.
Yeah, and like, okay, so not Stifle Knot.
But yeah, my first hand was unplayable. Tell me, you guys, last question. Will you mulligan this against him in the dark? I don't know what he's playing, even though I'm 90% sure he's playing zombies. It was like Mire, Swamp, Springs, Rack, Cabal Interrogator, Hypnotic Spectre. So 4 lands, all my colors, but no factory.
On curve.
On curve, I can rack into Interrogator, into Spectre, but it's really slow and really shitty against... It's atrocious against Fluctuator, even though he's not playing that, and it's pretty bad against zombies, too. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
That was my 6-card hand that I mulliganed.
Yeah.
Probably keep that on 5. It's just too risky, but...
Yeah.
And my 5 was fine. My 5 was a decent hand. First turn Spectre. Like, if you didn't... You played a second creature after I kind of demolished your hand with a Spectre and a Cabal Thing would be the next turn. If you didn't play that second creature, that's a race I could even win,
Yeah, well, and... if you'd have hit, because you hit the therapy that you knew, if you had hit the other card, it was the other creature.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right, that's enough. Yep. We'll put everybody to bed. Sorry.
All right.
Yeah.
Great job tonight, everybody.
Thanks, players.
Yeah, killer games.
Hey, can you guys do me a favor real quick? I think my mom's in the channel. Can you give her a big hello?
Hi, Ryan.
Hi, Mrs. Grodzinski.
All right, you guys. Have a good night.
All right.
Absolutely. Have a good one, guys.
So I will bring up the standings. So this is the standings that were as of the beginning of tonight. So Aaron will go up to 5-0. BK... Oh, man. Tonight is long. BK had lost to Rich, so BK is now 3-2. Mano lost, now at 2-2. Rich is up to 3-2. So BK and Rich at 3-2. Christian fell to Tom. So both Christian and Tom are 2-3. Ryan, you're at 2-2. So you still have a match to make up against Mano. So that's kind of like the wild card there that we got to figure out, and there could be a lot of jumping there because either one of you could. Well, one of you is going to win a match there. Yeah. So one of you is going to be 3-2 after that, and then Michael Flores sits all by himself, unfortunately, at 0-5 currently. So, yeah, so, I mean, Aaron looks to be in very good shape for the top 4, and then I think everyone else other than Flores might be live. I don't know if anyone else is eliminated mathematically. So, still a tight race. We got 2 more weeks to go before we determine our top 4. So, a lot of excitement
and a bonus match.
Yep. So we haven't scheduled that and figured that out, but that's something that we're working on, and we'll let you know when and how we're gonna broadcast that match. So I will move to our ending screen. Is there anything you want to add, Ryan? Thank you for joining me in the booth. I had a lot of fun.
No,
also,
I did too.
Watching your match was also very interesting. So. Yeah.
No, not at all. I just I really appreciate being able to compete and being able to comment on these. I had a lot of fun, and look forward to next week.
Yeah. Want to thank everyone who's able to tune in. Welcome to any of the followers maybe I gained from CubeCon and maybe are new to Premodern. Hope you're enjoying the content. Thanks to the players for putting on the show. Thanks to Flint. He wasn't here tonight. He had some stuff going on, but he's usually here. Thanks for the work that you put into the series. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for the follows and the subs that we had. We had some people to support. I know Brett Doyer had gifted some subs earlier that I didn't shout out, so thank you for those earlier. Thanks everyone, and we will see you next week for our week 6 of the Premodern Showdown series, and we are getting closer to that top 4 where people are closing in on that spot to try and get that playoff. So we will see you next time. Until next time, take care.
Good night.